Good evening and welcome to a brand new episode of Monday Night Therapy. I am your host, Minnie Hunt, and we are just a couple weeks away from kickoff, Huskers kickoff. We have fall camp still going on, and tonight we are going to finish up some of the, let's just call it, loose ends from the summer. We have special guests, 3 actually. You guys are going to love this. We have a student manager that was part of the Huskers in their heyday. We have somebody that we all know and love that I ran into in Las Vegas, and then possibly another coronation person at the end. So this is going to be a fun night, and I'm glad that you all are here. And Fred Sacco says that he was first, but he's not here with me. I think we should make him the official co-host on Monday nights. Don't you guys think? Raise your hand if you want Fred Sacco. Okay. Second is Roger Moore. Roger, I hope you're okay. I know you live in Lincoln, and I know there were some storms on Saturday, so it didn't seem like there was a ton of damage, but some. So I hope you're doing okay. And Joe Lalakis. Oh, Joe, is that you? Is that you when you played? Number 30? Santa Claus. Husker Claus, I mean. And Dana Williams joins us from Facebook. Go Big Red. Hey, Dana. And Greg is 5th. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Lemansky says, I hit the like. She deserves it. I appreciate that. Is this Adam Lemansky that I spoke with last night? Let me know. Oh my gosh, that is you. Wow, number 30. I know who wore number 30 as well, right? Mike Rozier. And Aaron Keene's here. He says, damn it, 2 yards or a minute short. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. That helps. Fred. Okay, I happen to know a little bit about this. Fred says he's working on a very special project tonight. Mwahahaha. I mean, I'm here next week to co-host. You better be. I love it when you're here. And I love seeing what vintage Husker wear you have. Is it 17 days? Never mind me. Okay, so 17 days to kick off at Arrowhead Stadium. Guys, we made it through the dog days of summer. And right now, there's a ton to eat up if you're a Husker fan. Everyone's mentioning us in all the polls. They're like, yes, the AP poll, the coaches poll, these are the top 25, but honorable mention, don't forget about Nebraska. And I think it's interesting that everyone's mentioning Nebraska because they're expecting big things out of Dylan Raiola and Matt Rhule in his 3rd year. So, oh, okay, yes, Lemansky, the Hawkeye. I have great taste in podcast. Thank you. I know exactly who you are. I met you on a Hawkeye show. And don't tell anyone else here that I go to other shows like that because apparently I'm not allowed to like other teams. Who's hating on us? Never mind me says they're hating on us, Minnie. Who? Who would that be? Oh, the media. That's who he means. Is that who you mean? I think they always hate on Nebraska, though. We're used to that. We have built up calluses. You know how you build up calluses whenever you're like working hard, like, I don't know, sweeping, mopping. I don't know. You work up calluses though, right? That's what, We have been working up calluses for over a decade. And we are calloused enough. As Matt Rhule says, you gotta work up your callus like when you're tackling and hitting guys. We as fans have worked up and we are calloused. The conservative Husker says, "Go Big Red, go Big Red." And Pitt Snipe Husker, he says, "Go Big Red, y'all." All right, you guys, without further ado, I am actually going to introduce our next guest. I have wanted him on this show since April. I've wanted him to come on, at least April. So I'm so glad that we finally got him to be here. I let him know that it's 9 o'clock. It's not necessarily G-rated. So he's welcome to tell us some stories that may not necessarily be, appropriate for kids, if anyone has kids around. So without further ado, welcome Brad Wilson.
Hello,
Brad.
Nation. How are you? Good, Minnie.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Good to see you.
I'm so glad we finally got this opportunity.
Yeah, and I like to relive things from 40 years ago. We lost all of 4 games in 4 years, 3 of those to the eventual national champion. So when I was part of the team, we lost 4 games total.
Oh my gosh. 4 games total.
Yes.
Not 4 games in a row in one season.
No. Usually January, usually, like I said, to Penn State in a game that if they would have had replay, we would have won the game because the guy caught the ball out of bounds for one play and it bounced off the turf. And he even admits it for the touchdown that won the game at Penn State in 82. In 83, Tom went for his, Orange Bowl championship and went for 2. We could have tied it and had the national championship that day.
That's the one that every Husker fan, even me, I wasn't a fan during that time, but that's probably one of the first stories I ever heard about as far as like going back into, the OG days when he decided to go for 2. And why is that? Because he wanted to win. He didn't want to just tie.
Exactly. That's his character. Tom is always who he appeared to be. Always quiet, but very stoic, always very reliable. But also he promoted a team atmosphere. When you hear about Coach Rhule talking about that they have a family, it was a family back then as well. And when you were part of that family, you were part of that family. I was in the hospital for a short time during one of my years. Football players came to see me. I got a care package from the coaching staff. I mean, we were them. I was part of them, and I was a water boy. That's what most people would think I did, would be a glorified water boy, but it was a lot more than that. You want me to go into it a little bit now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
Start it off. Everyone's been looking forward to this. They're in chat, and I'm going to be highlighting some of their comments.
Well, the first thing you need to know is I'm the first disabled student manager in Nebraska football history. I was born with a birth defect, so it affects my right arm and leg. So I could never really participate in sports.
Okay.
So I became a student manager in junior high and high school. Oh. Then one of my coaches was Matt the Terminator Turman's dad, if you remember Matt Turman from the 90s. And then the other one was Coach Steiner, and he was a player. He was an offensive lineman in the 70s. So I had some connections with the team. But I didn't tell anybody. I went to college my first year and just went to college because I wanted to make sure that we just I could do college. I didn't know, and I wanted to make sure, that's why I went to school. I didn't go to school to be around sports. But toward the end of the first semester, I wrote Coach Osborne a snail mail letter because we didn't have computers back in those days. And I got a reply back, and he said, "We'll have an opening in December. Would you come in for an interview?" So I interviewed with Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator. He sat at his desk, never looked up at me at all, asked me about football and why I wanted to be there. And I just told him, you know, my love of the game and all of that stuff. And then I had to have a second interview with George Sullivan, who was like the 50-year head trainer. So he actually was my boss for the 4 years I was a student manager.
George Sullivan. Okay.
George Sullivan, quite the man. He started as a football player, then became a trainer in like the late 40s, and he retired in like 95.
Okay.
So he was around the program forever. He said, you'll be fine here as long as you don't smoke any of the wacky tobacco and you go to class. You know, you couldn't mess around. And oh, by the way, we have to pay you now. So we ended up I got paid like about $200 a month. Got to eat at the training table one time a day.
Oh.
Got all kinds of clothes, though. You know, we had our sideline gear, we had our warm weather gear, we had our hats, our turf shoes. You know, we had all kinds of gear that we got. The coaches gave me some of their bowl watches, so I got some of those.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Okay, I have goosebumps. Literally, I have goosebumps right now. Wow.
I was around the top guys in Nebraska. Think about it. I would go to the dorm and my friends would want to go to a midnight movie in Lincoln. Back then we had more theaters in downtown. And here are all these big black guys, you know, talking to me, and they were like, what are you trying to do? Get us beat up? And I said, those are my football players. They're my guards. We aren't going to have any problems in downtown Lincoln.
So what was it that you were responsible for?
Okay. During the fall, like right now, Coach Osborne had 6 stations during practice. So most of the practice, I was with the scout team offense and the first team defense. So I had a list of plays that the defense would run. So I huddled them all up each play and had a 3-ring binder with plays on it. And they would know what to run for the play. I'd have to put the football like the referee would on whatever hash mark it was supposed to go on. They'd run the play, and then we'd go to the next play. Before practice, we got schedules from the coaches' secretaries. Mm-hmm. So we had to find out what was on, you know, so we had to know how many balls had to be on which practice facility. We had to know what the order of the practice was, all the blocking dummies, all that stuff. That was, you know, we drove around on one of those 4-wheel carts and hauled equipment around and moved stuff around. And we were kind of the coach's errand boys as well. So if a coach needed me to go to a store, like Coach McBride liked to chew chewing tobacco, I'd have to go buy him chewing tobacco if he ran out.
You wore a lot of hats.
Yeah. And we got to drive their cars, which was cool. I mean, they all had rental cars, so they were always new. Every season they had a new car. I was there the day that one of the Bob Devaney was still the athletic director then, so I got to meet, you know, all the legends. And he had a parking.
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm losing it right now.
And he had a parking stall right next to the front door. Now they used the South Stadium as the offices back then. They didn't, you know, the North Stadium we had. And I'll go into that later, but it was not where the coaches were at. The coaches were in the South Stadium. One of the players parked in Bob's spot, and I was out there, and he blew a gasket. What son of a buckety buck did this? Whose buckety buck car is this? You get who's ever out here and get him to move that fucking car now.
Wow. Who was that?
Oh, it was one of the I don't even remember who it was. It was one of the wide receivers, I think. He was like a junior, and he had to go out there in front of Bob, and Bob just gave him the riot act.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he parked right in front of the stadium.
Wow.
Parked right in front of the stadium. And that wasn't good. Back then, we still had reel-to-reel film. We didn't have digital anything. So we had to go to the bus station and exchange film with both teams every week. So that was one of my jobs. We had a freshman team back then. So
that's right.
So I was basically the head freshman manager for my first year. So they had their own schedule, and we would go, and if we lucked out, we would go like to K-State on Friday and play the freshmen, and then the varsity would play Saturday. So if they did that, I got to go and travel with the freshman team. We only traveled with 2 out of 8 of us on the varsity team. So we had to get there on our own if we were underclassmen. But if we were with the freshman team, we could stay, and then we could travel back with the team.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so we had all these double games. And Dan Young was the head coach when we did that. And we actually went to Coffeyville Junior College. And that's the same junior college that Mike Rozier, Heisman Trophy winner, went and played at for a year. They had won the national.
What was the name of it?
Coffeyville Junior College in Coffeyville, Kansas, right on the Oklahoma border.
I didn't know the name of it. Okay.
And we went down there and actually went to one of the alumni. I don't remember her name, but we went there for cake and cookies and pop. And I mean, she threw us a big party. We practiced at a high school stadium in Kansas the night before, the freshman team. And the high school sold tickets and had concessions to watch a Nebraska practice.
Are you kidding me?
No. And all we did was run through kickoff team and stuff like that. You know, it was like 20 minutes.
This must have been 1980 what?
83.
Wow.
1983. So we go down there and we're losing the game. We're losing 21-0 going into the fourth quarter. It starts pouring rain. And when it started pouring rain, we started scoring. We won 28-21. I'm running behind the head coach, which was Dan Young at the time. And we go up to their coach, and their coach was he was a Hall of Fame coach for their division. I mean, he had won national championships in JUCO.
Okay.
So Dan went up there to shake his hand, and that coach just bypassed him. Didn't shake his hand, didn't do nothing. And coach says, that son of a bitch didn't even shake my hand. I said, well, coach, I'll shake your hand. We kicked their ass. Let's go and get dry. And then after the game, the Kentucky Fried Chicken truck shows up. 190 3-piece chicken dinners.
No. Oh my goodness gracious. That's perfect.
Oh yeah. And the graduate assistants were the coaches for the freshman team. They pretty much. So you kind of had to keep them in line. We had to do bed check for people, you know, like right now, during fall camp, we stayed at Harper Shrimp Smith for 2 weeks with the players. So they were there for 2 weeks. We did bed check. Back then, Domino's Pizza was the only pizza that delivered. They would only deliver to the main lobby, and the players had to check in by 10 p.m. We went room to room with the coach. I always went with John Melton, the linebackers coach. If a pizza showed up after 10 p.m., we got to eat it because, you know, gosh, they were in bed. I
love that.
Too bad.
That's crazy. I mean, these days, okay. So I'm thinking of what was that quarterback's? No, not quarterback. What was that wild man's name that went to BYU? Was he a quarterback that was known for like carrying beer onto the campus?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name either.
I'm just thinking these were the days where you could get away with so much.
It was fun. It was still fun. And we were under the microscope. We're the #1 team in the nation, 1983. Remember that?
Thank you, Jim McMahon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Brian Bosworth, the Oklahoma linebacker, that was kind of the end of my time.
Did you say we're under the magnifying glass? Is that what you're saying?
We were #1 team in the nation. We had helicopters flying over practice every day.
No way.
Oh yeah. We had to, you know, the 4 older posts at the stadium, those older buildings, we had to search those every day for camera crews because opposing teams sometime would get somebody in there and film.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, there's so many comments. People are loving these stories, by the way.
Good. I'm glad.
Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna just talk about a couple. Okay, Gary Stimple says, do you think, oh wait, we'll save that for later. Brad, sorry, Gary. I promise we will get that later. Were you under Glenn Abbott's tutelage?
Yes, he was a prince of a man. Loved him. He, like I said, when I got a care package, when I was in the hospital, he was the one that delivered it to me.
Oh.
He was the equipment manager. So every Thursday night, I'll do a Glenn Abbott story. Every Thursday night, we had to restripe, put ends, reface mask all the helmets. We washed them with Ajax, and it had a wax that went on them. If it was an away game, then we would pack all of the bags up and put them in the van to go, or the truck to go to the away game. If it was a home game, we would just, got their lockers ready for the weekend. If you were a player and you pissed me off during the week, I just put a little Ajax on your mouthpiece and as a little thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, as a little thank you, and some guy would say, "Why'd you do that?" And I said, "Well, you're going to treat me better this week, aren't you?"
Oh my goodness. What if that made the difference between a win and a loss right there?
Oh, it wouldn't have been. No. These guys are great. I mean,
I'm kidding.
The offensive line back then had no name under 13 letters. Grimminger, Trainowitz. I mean, those were the names. And after games, they would say, "Brad, you want to come to Branch Stoke with us? We're going fishing." So I could go after games fishing with them. My biggest regret, Coach Osborne asked me to run with him after practice one day, and I told him no. I didn't do it.
Okay, you said you're disabled on the right side, right?
Yep, I limp, and I don't have good use of my right. I type and everything with my left hand only.
Okay. So he wanted you to run with him?
Yeah, he always jogged around the stadium after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's what he was asking me to do.
I see.
I actually lifted weights. Boyd Epley, he watched me, and I said, "Can you do a program for me for my strength and stuff?" So, I lifted weights. If I would have needed help with school, which I didn't, I could have had the counseling services. If I was sick, we had a doctor on staff. You just go to the doctor.
That's awesome.
Those are the perks that I got. And those are the Friar days. I was there at the tail end of those, Gary. They were seniors when I was a freshman, or going into my sophomore year, actually.
Okay.
And like I said, though, I hung out with the first team defense more. So I was more with the linebackers and defensive line. So I was a black shirt. I was with those guys.
Did you ever get a black shirt?
No. But I got a watch. So you can't ask for everything. I did get a plaque when I retired. I retired during the spring game. Coach Osborne called me up in front of the team.
Oh.
And presented me with a plaque, thanking me for my dedicated and inspirational service as a student manager. And I got a standing ovation and all of that.
That is so beautiful.
I was part of the team.
Of course, yeah.
It was, and it was work. I mean, there were a lot of days you were out there in snow. You were out there. I was the first guy, one of the first people there, because we had to get set up. All of my classes had to be in the morning. We had afternoon practice.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to have class between 7:30 and 12. Then I would go eat at the training table, and at 1 o'clock I went to work. And then I worked till about 6 or 6:30, because by the time, you put everything away, and usually the coaches would pick like tight ends or the receivers, and they would have to catch like 20 footballs in a row, or they had to stay out there. And guess who got to stay out there if they had to stay out there?
Of course. Perpetually Indignant says, "This will be good for Minnie's understanding of the good old days for sure."
Yeah.
Tell me something that you miss about those days.
The camaraderie with the players. I am part of the Letterman's group, so I do get invited to some of the things at the stadium that they put on for former players. So I do get to see former players and the former coaches, but just that camaraderie every day. It was a group that accepted me as a human being. And if you're disabled, I've been bullied throughout my whole life, including as an adult. So it was a very safe environment. It was a fun environment. and Coach Osborne was on my resume when I came out of college. Now, do you think that was an icebreaker for any interview I ever had?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean, those guys were just, I mean, a good Christian man, but some of those other coaches, they could lay into people really good.
Mm-hmm.
Coach McBride had, like I said, he chewed. And if he got in my face and started yelling, guess who got to wear his chew? I did.
Oh.
One time when we played Oklahoma, that was when we played Oklahoma every year, usually 1 versus 3, 1 versus 2. The coaches were very, very, their anuses were about as big as a dime those weeks because they were, the tension was just all over the place. And we had a red shirt offensive lineman that was hurt and was sitting in the stands, and it was supposed to be a closed practice. Ooh. And McBride saw him and started yelling, "Who is that blankety blank son of a bitch? Get him out of here. It's a close play, blah, 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 blah." Nobody would confront him to say who he was. Finally, I went up to Charlie and said, "Coach, he's one of our guys."
Who was it?
It was like I said, it was a walk-on. It wasn't anybody that you would know, but it was somebody that he was a part of us. And finally Charlie just, "Well, I don't care." Blankety blank blank. He just
This would have been before the Frost era.
Oh yeah. 10 years before.
Yeah.
10 years before.
Were you ever around during that time, or were you just off living your life and
I was out living my life, and actually I was living my life in Iowa. Wearing my Nebraska gear every day to work, making the board of directors at the agency I was working for as a CEO kind of upset with me. So I was in their local paper a lot and stuff, and here I was with my big N on my jacket and everything.
That's funny.
Oh, it was worth it.
We have a KU fan in the chat. Jason Spangler says, "It's funny he brings that up. As a junior in high school in Lawrence, I worked at KFC, and every time at away games, college football came to play, they would order hundreds of dinners for the players, and it was always a huge tip night."
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Now at Iowa State, we had to, if you know the setup there, you have the stadium, Jack Price Stadium, and then you have Hilton Coliseum where they play basketball. And it's a big parking lot that serves both of those facilities. They made us dress in Hilton and run to the stadium with the freshman team. They wouldn't even let us dress in the stadium.
Oh my.
The worst fans were Colorado fans because you were so close to them and they would throw beer on you. There were a few years ago, you might remember, where they kicked out their whole section. They kicked out the whole student section at the Colorado game because they were so nasty throwing stuff at Nebraska.
When was that?
That was in the 90s or 2000s even.
Okay, so this is when this is what I heard. Tell me if it's wrong or if it's just folklore. I heard they were like throwing baggies of urine.
Yes.
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh my
goodness. It was disgusting. They were spitting on us, they were throwing crap. Yeah, it was never fun in Colorado.
They're not much better now. I have to be honest. They are not my favorite fan base.
Colorado was never they were not. Oklahoma we loved. Oklahoma State, I love going down there. They gave us the staff, like we would go there, and the wagon wheel bar, they would just set us up for beer as long as we wanted to drink it. We only had to have 2 managers that had to work that night. So the rest of us, if we got down there, we could party and stuff.
Oh my goodness. I bet you guys partied pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you had to behave during football season, but I know I took my brother to a party. We lived in an apartment, and a couple of the players lived behind me, like Mike Knox, and he saw one of the players carrying 2 full kegs, one on each shoulder, up and down stairs, and he says, "This place is pretty tough for me. I don't think I want to be here."
Oh my God. That sounds like a good time. I guess.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one. The day that scared me, I thought I was getting fired. They called me into the ticket manager's
What
office.
happened?
They called me in. I'm telling you, they
Okay.
called me into the ticket manager's office. There that day was the head ticket manager, George Sullivan, my boss, NCAA compliance from the athletic department, and myself.
Uh-oh.
And they said, Mr. Wilson, we need to fire you.
Are you
And I
kidding
said,
me?
that's what they said. And I said, why? Because you applied for student tickets. And as a staff, you already receive 4 free tickets every week. I said, I didn't apply. And they said, yes, you did. I did not apply, sir or ma'am.
Okay.
They said, here's the application. I said, let me see it. And I started looking at it. It was Brad Wilson, different address, different social security number.
Oh, thank goodness.
There was 2 of us on campus at that time. I said, well, I'm, 507, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't you check my payroll? And then they were all real apologetic.
Okay, so you couldn't apply for student tickets if you got, okay, that is just, I just have to say, that has to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. But
I didn't need them. I got 2 tickets as a freshman, 4 tickets as a sophomore, 8 tickets as a junior. I mean, it always doubled.
And who would you give the tickets to?
Girlfriends, family, cousins. My eventual wife had them for a while, but then all she wanted to watch was the band. So I told her I was going to give them to her. It had to be somebody that wanted to go to a game and watch the game.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, where were the tickets?
They were in the North Stadium, about 14 rows high at that time.
Okay. Well,
I don't know where they're at now.
If you ever have free tickets, right here.
Well, they gave us tickets. Now it's just you have to show, you get your name on a list. The players give the ticket office the names of people, and you have to show ID now.
It's like a VIP list.
Yeah, because we could quote unquote sell tickets back then.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. Well, Fred Sacco, oh my goodness gracious. What are you doing? He just gave away 5 Corn Nation memberships. I don't have anything to say or play or show for that, but thank you, Fred.
Think how many you'll have to buy when you start paying him to be the co-host.
I know. Seriously. He's so awesome. I love having Fred as my co-host, but I'm sure he enjoys being in chat. It's so nice to be able to just like sit back, chill. I know he likes to have like a nice cold drink with him, something mixed. But thank you, Fred. That's so sweet.
I'll tell you one other story about our Heisman Trophy winner, Mike Rozier.
Okay, wait. I gotta be like in a mindset for this. Okay.
Mike Rozier, last home game of his career, 1983 versus Kansas. And you can see this. You can see me on YouTube. If you type in 1993 Kansas, Nebraska football.
83.
You can see me on the sidelines.
Okay.
So he's going for the single season and single game rushing record that day. He needed 210 yards, I believe. And unfortunately, he came out with 200 yards or something, like 202 yards. They pulled him out in the third quarter because we were way ahead, but he didn't have enough yards. So they had to put him back in the fourth quarter. Number one, so they were all like, well, look at what they're doing. They're just trying to get their guys' records and all that crap. Well, Okay, he carried the ball like 2 more times, but he got injured. And here's this Heisman Trophy candidate going to play Oklahoma the next week. And he
gets his injury.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Sorry.
He got hit in his private parts.
Ooh.
Which, if you're a guy, you understand the pain. It's instantaneous, and there's not much you can do about it. They actually have you set up, and they bounce you off the ground.
You have to breathe.
Yes. Yes. So they carry him off the field. And at that point, back then, the cords that they had actual telephone cords behind them. They didn't have battery packs like now. They weren't mobile. So I was behind Frank Solich, who was the running back coach, with this 30 yards worth of cord so that players wouldn't get tangled behind me. And we rush over to Mike, and the minute I find out what it is, I start laughing on national television. And my uncle said, well, I knew what the injury was right away. You know, the TV announcers were trying to make a big thing about it. And Cleet Fisher, if you know the Fisher family in Nebraska, it's a family that had like 4 brothers. They all played Nebraska football and went to the pros. And he was the line coach at that time. It was like his last season. And he looked at Mike Rozier and said, Mike, if you're lucky, it'll swell. And we all just died of laughter.
If you're lucky, it'll swell.
Yeah.
What a nice friend. Looking out for you.
Yeah.
I tell you.
I got to meet I got to meet Lou Holtz. I got to meet Barry Switzer coached during TV timeouts. He would hide behind his players and behind the coaching staff and smoke between timeouts.
Stress.
Yeah. Well, they were all great guys. I got to meet Bob Hope. I got to meet the original Beach Boys. You know, people wanted to come to games.
Of course. They weren't televised nationally like they are now.
No, we only had like two games plus maybe the bowl game. So maybe 3 total. And I got to know the TV crews. And so, you know, there was a good looking cheerleader from Oklahoma, and I'd say, put her on more, you know, so.
You had some pull with the guys.
Yeah. I met, you know, Keith Jackson, big guy.
I don't know who Keith Jackson is. I'm sorry.
Oh, he was the ABC announcer for like 40 years. He was like the guy. Whoa, Nelly was what he was saying.
What he said? Oh,
yeah. And unfortunately, one of his last years was his other guy was Bob Greasy, whose son was playing for Michigan in 1987. So they were always for Michigan and against Nebraska to lose in 97 with Scott Frost. They're the other team that got the other half of the national championship.
Oh my gosh.
So that sucked.
Yeah. What great stories you have. This is incredible. Seriously, yeah. Brad.
Well, and then my friends got to know that, you know, everybody knew what our sideline gear was. So my friends would say, can I wear your coat to go shopping so the girls will notice me? So, yeah, here's my coat. Go wear my coat.
What would it cost them?
$10.
There you go. You were raking it in left and right. Whatever you could do. I don't blame you.
Well, that was fun. Well, number one, I just went and did it. I didn't tell my parents I applied. I'm sure they checked with the coaches I had, but I didn't tell anybody. I just went and did it. And all of a sudden I called mom and dad and said, I got a job. Well, what's that? Well, I'm on the Nebraska football staff.
Did she know? Did she freak out?
Oh, yeah.
She was a fan.
Yeah. They used to have tickets. They had season tickets back in the day. Not now, but yeah. Mom and dad. Well, dad was an all-state football player. My brother was an all-state football player in Class C in Nebraska. So I come from my sister was on a volleyball team that got second at state in our class. So my family is pretty athletic. So we were always around sports. But yeah, it was an honor to be there. And I've never asked for anything in return. You know, everybody says, well, do you go down there and get free tickets, or do you ask for this? I said, no. You know, have I met Matt Rhule? Have I met Matt Rhule? Yes. Have I, you know, when Trevor was still here as our athletic director, when Frank Solich first came back 2 years ago, I was at the reception for that. And they had a players can go to practice during spring ball that year. But when I called to get in, they said, well, no, only players can get in, no staff. So when I saw Coach Rhule, I said, Coach, did you realize that former staff weren't allowed to come to this event? And No, he wrote it down and everything. And so this year I got to go. But Trev Alberts was right next to him and said, well, Brad, you were just SOL.
Wow.
I named my son Trevor Daniel Wilson, so it was TD. Trevor for Trevor, and Daniel for my great grandfather, but it was TD Wilson. So I thought that was an excellent name for a boy.
That is a beautiful name. Gosh, Keith Jackson was awesome, says
Yes.
Jason Spangler. Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Get them out here.
Joe Lakis says back then Gordon McRae sang the national anthem at home games.
Yes, he did.
The guy who sang, did he sing?
He was on Oklahoma, the movie.
Yes.
That
is my all-time favorite musical.
So he would get on the public address announcer and say, we're on national television today, so you guys sing it loud and proud. And he would lead it.
That's so cool. Okay. Oh, wait, I forgot. James Boardman says, any good John Melton stories? He cracked me up, and this is for a $5 super chat. Thank you, James Boardman.
Thank you. Well, John was a good buddy of mine. He was always, I'm trying to think of a good story.
Well, while you think of that,
okay.
People are talking about the 30 for 30 on Mike Rozier was really good. Okay, so
I haven't seen it yet, so I need to see it.
Yeah, you guys, Netflix does really good documentaries on football.
Mike comes back quite a bit. He was just back a few weekends ago.
Yeah?
Signing stuff. Yeah, he comes back to Nebraska quite often.
I would love to meet him. I would love to get something signed.
Well, and when I go to these football events, I can take a guest. I usually take my son with me.
Oh,
so I take him up there, and we're in like where the press is at, having a reception. And I said, well, who would you like to meet tonight? The 3 Heisman Trophy winners are over here. And he'll put on Facebook, well, my dad got me in a room I didn't think I'd ever been in my life.
So your son must be how old?
30.
30. Okay.
He was born in 95. My daughter, who was born in 1990, didn't think Nebraska. She cried the first time Nebraska lost to Arizona State in 96 because she was 6 years old before they lost a game.
That's precious. And you raised her right. Good going.
No, but John was good. I mean, he was always about family, and he would always, anytime he forgot something, it was your fault.
Oh, okay.
Guys. So then you had to go to his locker to get it, or his office to get it, or.
So John Melton was who?
He was the linebackers coach.
Linebackers coach in the 80s.
And he actually started, he was the originals in the 60s.
What?
So he coached with Bob Devaney in Wyoming.
Really?
He coached all the way from Wyoming to 1994, 5.
Wow.
He coached that long. That was another reason why we were so good. The coaching staff never changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just hearing today, I don't know what I was listening to, something about when Frank Solich was coach, like all the massive turnover.
Yes, I saw that today.
1 year. Oh, you saw that too?
Yeah, we were 7-6 1 year.
Yeah.
So they basically put a mandate on it. That's when he hired Bo Pelini and those guys as assistants. Then the next year they went 9-3, and he still got fired. And then that's why everybody said, well, that was the end of Nebraska football.
Yeah.
We know.
I know people who think that's exactly what they say, that we should have never fired Frank Solich. That was the worst decision, the turning point of the program.
Well, thing is you had an athletic director at that time who used to be the recruiting coordinator, and you had people like the president at the university that wanted Frank out.
Oh.
So the leadership screwed us.
Oh, I
And then,
see.
and think about how good a man Tom Osborne is. He came back to try to right the ship and clean the mess as athletic director. He didn't. He wouldn't have had to.
No.
But he put his name on the line again,
Mm-hmm.
and hired guys like John Cook, and and the rest is history. But Tom's 86 years old, I think, this year.
No. Let him just live out his days peacefully.
His birthday is the same day as my son's, and mine's the same day as Frank Solich's.
Oh, that is so weird.
It is.
That's just bizarre.
Okay, so my kids who really didn't know any of these stories because they were pretty little when Frank was coach. I told you, like my daughter was 6 and my son was 2 or 3. We went to Frank's first spring game, and I'm walking by the Hawks Field House, and we're by the old Coliseum. You know where I'm at on the Horseshoe?
Okay.
It's the Horseshoe. Frank, who is the head coach, his first official game per se, he's meeting with a bunch of alumni in the middle of the Horseshoe having a barbecue. I'm walking toward the stadium with my son on my shoulders and holding my daughter's hands, and he starts yelling and running toward me, Brad, 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 Brad. And so he greeted me, and my daughter says, how do you know him? I said, well, he used to be my boss. Well, do you know who he is? I go, yeah, I know who he is.
That's crazy. That is so crazy.
So Frank took me in the stadium and showed me his new. I mean, at that time they were still in the South. I mean, the old training table they just got rid of with the new training table this season. We helped build because in 1983 we went to the first kickoff classic and beat Penn State like 44-6 after they beat us that year before.
44-6.
We beat them 44-6 on a Thursday night, kind of like when we're going to Cincinnati on a Thursday night. We played in New York, and the proceeds, we got like $800,000 or $1 million for that game, and that's what built the training table that's under West Stadium.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, that's how we built it. We were at Selleck Quadrangle to begin with.
Did anyone else know that? I did not know that. That is awesome.
Okay. First day I'm there. First day of spring practice.
Okay.
Tom Osborne gets up in front of all the players, stands on a chair. Gentlemen, you're part of the family of football, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But your priorities are this: God, family, school, and football, in that order. And I will do anything I can to help you achieve those 4 things in that order.
God, family, school.
God, family, school, and football, number 4.
Number four.
And he lived it. And I'm the same age as his kids, so I got to see his kids every now and then too. So, I got to interact with them, and they were under a lot of pressure because, Dad's the head,
I'm sure.
And that's when we were playing Oklahoma and losing, for all these trick plays and all this stuff. It was like, they had just gotten out of the 70s where they had won the game and then they lost to Missouri. And so, but yeah, Brad being on, I come from a little town called David City. So when Brad got to be a student manager, I was like front page story on the local paper,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to get orange hands because it was snowing that winter. We were out there on the turf and it was snowing in March, and the new footballs would turn my hands orange every day.
Are you serious? That's so.
Oh yeah, no, your hands were orange.
Oh my gosh.
You had to wash them with good soap because they were orange. Well, when they got wet, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple of comments that I didn't take before then, because we're talking about orange hands. You were talking about Mike Rozier, how he got hit in the, private parts.
Yeah.
And, okay, so that I already took that one. Yeah. And then perpetually indignant. Would you read this for me?
In the groin, you say? Absolutely.
And then, Fred Sacco says, no, it's the lower abdominal area. That just sounds horrible anyways.
Or the
Okay?
nuts. Or the nuts. You can also call it that.
No, we can't. I don't say things like that. No, we don't talk
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But you can.
Okay.
It's not me. Gary Pierce, I wanted you to see this. People are loving these stories, Brad, and they just love hearing about Nebraska football, the good old days, and just all of these like behind the scenes. It's like our own 30 for 30 right here on Corn Nation. And I had a request.
I mean, I grew up with, Connor and John. I mean, I met them. Well, I met you, Minnie, last year. So when you guys coming to Michigan this year?
Yes.
Okay. So you got to go to the same bar.
Kincaiders?
Yep. Same brewery. I was just there last Friday.
Okay.
Same band. So
Greg wants me to do housekeeping and mention all of John's books. Well, just the fact that he has like a library of books, but I can mention, please like the video. And this is one of John's books, Been Dead, Never Been to Europe. It's the most confusing book at the beginning, but then it makes sense.
I need to
in John fashion.
Published. I would like to write a book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you should totally. Yeah. So this is available on Amazon. I think it was like $10, but
does he have them on? I don't like to hold books because of my hand, so I use the electronic reader. Does he have the electronic versions?
I think maybe.
Let me know sometime. Yeah. Because I just don't like to hold books. It's a lot harder for me, and then I have to. So yeah,
this book would be 100 times better. You know how you can do audiobooks?
Yes.
If
I'd
John
like to hear him reading, yes.
John were to read this book to us, I guarantee he'd sell like 5,000 copies the first day.
He could sit on his shitter to do it if he wanted to.
I know. Seriously. We would love that. He doesn't want to relive it.
No, I'm having fun too. It's fun for me to reminisce because nobody remembers this. I'm 62. I can talk to 80-year-olds.
Not that old, okay.
I know, but I can talk to 80-year-olds and they remember it. I saw a young kid in Beatrice where I live. He was in like Burger King, and he had Runza. He was in Runza, and it was an older Nebraska shirt, and it said like 14 conference championships, 5 national championships, this many All-Americans, and all that on the shirt. And I says, he isn't old enough to remember any of them.
No, but you know what? We can take part in these great stories.
Oh yeah. And we're making new ones. I'm event staff now, so I actually work as an event staff at the stadium during games.
Nice.
So I take tickets.
Okay. So now they're going to ticketless, right?
Yes. So let me just advise people, because I just had training last week. You have to please put your tickets in your wallet. I don't know how many people come to my line. They have the ticket on their email and they lose their email because the Wi-Fi there sucks because there's so many people trying to use it at once. Then they can't get to their ticket. Then they get mad. Then it's my fault. And I can't get you in unless I can scan the ticket.
Sorry. I had something fall.
The first thing is please download your ticket into the wallet.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, we're going to have beer this year. So that means.
I guess there is a Kindle version. Sorry.
Oh, great.
That means what? That means you're going to get a lot of beer spilt on you.
Well, no, because they're telling us the studies show that if they sell beer at the stadium, fans are better about it because they don't drink quite as much because they can't leave. That's the other part. We've always let fans leave at halftime to smoke and go drink. No more. You get into the stadium, and if you leave, you're out. And fans they'll fight back on that, but that's the way it's going to be this year. So please be nice to the people in the yellow shirts. It's not our fault. It's they've got that new concession company that's taking over. So we still will have Runzas and we will still have a pizza. It doesn't sound like we're going to have red hot dogs. I won't say the brand.
Okay. Greg gives you the Kindle version. I don't know if it's legit. Honestly, you never know with Greg.
Well, I'll check it on the tape after I'm done.
And then Perpetually Indignant says, Greg, you should feel good about the fact that Minnie is cutting Brad off too. I apologize. I don't even mean
But
to.
I always let pretty girls do it.
Oh, no, Brad, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Now, don't I don't want to be too sweet. Girls don't like too sweet of guys.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But I am sweet. I am.
Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight and telling us all these amazing Nebraska.
Anytime you want to crack, I need to crack you up or the audience up again. Invite me back. I'm kind of like Fred. I could be a stand-in for Fred. I keep pretty good track of the team, so I enjoy it. One of the things I've learned about being disabled is the best thing for me to do is to show you that I can still live a life. And I had a lot of the players ask me questions like, well, you probably can't have kids, or you probably won't get married. And I said, well, guess what? I got married. I had kids.
Of course.
I don't do things like everybody else does. I drive with my left foot. I can't do a stick shift. I type one-handed with F, G, H, and J. I had a teacher in high school that she learned a typing method just to teach it to me. One student. But those are the kind of teachers I had in my life.
You've been blessed.
Yes.
In other ways.
Yes. And then, I've got to be, I love sports. I found a way to become in sports. And actually if you look back on any of the old books from the 80s that have pictures of the sidelines or the YouTube videos, you can see me in some of the pictures. My son and I visited the College Football Hall of Fame about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, I want to go there so bad. Okay.
In Atlanta, Georgia. There's a picture of Mike Rozier with me in the background. So I am in the College Football Hall of Fame.
No way.
I'll be there forever.
That's a major win right there. If you did nothing else for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, so I can go in front of people and say, I'm in the College Football Hall of Fame.
I know. No, who gets to say that? Nobody.
Not very many.
That is so freaking awesome.
Great place to go visit, downtown Atlanta.
I love this. You know what? I do love your story, Brad. You are welcome back anytime. I mean it.
But you invite me and whenever. I understand you got commitments, and I've enjoyed being there. Enjoy coordination. Look forward to seeing you
for sure
next month.
Like is I said, already? Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah. And September's my birth month, so we didn't lose it.
What's your birthday?
The 8th.
The 8th. Okay.
We never lost a football game until we got to the 2000s on my birthday.
Wow. That's a way to celebrate.
Yeah, we always had a win. I always had a birthday cake with a football stadium on it.
Did you take it for granted? Because I don't know what that feels like. You know what? I'm turning a particular age this year. No, it's not 65 as somebody thought, or 60 even. But I don't.
It was a job back then. I've become more nostalgic as the years go by, and I've seen my coaches and other players pass away. It was a job. I mean, I was there 16 hours some days, 12 hours, 8 hours. I mean, it was a job. I was very privileged to be there. I knew the company I was keeping, and I wanted to do the best job that I could. That's the way I just told them I will do the best job that I can, and I do not want to be considered. I don't want you hiring me because of my disability. I don't want to be, a number on their EEOC thing. I want you to hire me because I'm going to be a good student manager for you. And they kept me around. They didn't have to. Good. Each year they cut half this. So like when I started, there was 4. They cut it down to 3 the next year. Then they cut it down to 2 the next year after that, out of that original 4. And they kept me all the way through.
Tony wants to know, Brad, do you remember Mick Tinglehoff? That's Minnie's favorite. Who's that?
No, I don't. He's before my time.
Who is that? Do you know?
Mick Tinglehoff. He was a player. He was a defensive player. Oh. I'll give you one more story to leave.
Okay.
Coach Osborne, better known as T.O., would come over to the defensive station where I was with the the scout team. And he's standing behind the play, and the fullback missed his block, and the linebacker, Mark Mumford, I believe it was, came through, and Ken and Mark and Coach Osborne all ended up on the ground. And everybody's worried about Tom. Is he hurt? Is he hurt? Is he hurt? And he looks at the Ken Keelan, who is the fullback, and he says, "Ken, I think you missed your block." And he said it in that dry voice that he has. And, we were all just cutting up with laughter,
Oh, my God.
I think you missed your block.
That's funny.
And he had heart surgery when I was there and came back to practice within several weeks. So, I mean, that's when his hair went from pure red to gray.
Yeah. Well, you could tell just looking at him as he aged, these head coaching jobs, and they're even harder now, right?
Well, yeah. And then he had to deal with, players' problems back when I was there.
I know.
But they weren't as bad.
And he took so much flack from the media.
Yes.
But
he stood behind his team.
I love that. I love that about him.
And when we lost one of those 4 games against Oklahoma, he came to the locker room, and they were all dejected like they normally are after a game. And he said, "Gentlemen, you're not here for the fans. You're not here from the media. If you can look to the guy to your right, the guy to your left, the guy in front of you, and the guy behind you, and know that you did your best, that is all you can do, and you're a winner."
It sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, you're a winner.
You're a winner. Just remember that.
He was about the process. He strictly was about the process. And I'm having more. We'll have to do more stories sometime, because more of it's flooding back to me, Minnie, as I'm thinking about it, because I just don't think about it all the time. I mean,
I'll give you, what? Maybe what we can do is we can just talk like this, and I'll record it and, edit it, and we can just.
Yeah. Do whatever you want to do.
Put it out there for people. Yeah.
But no, I appreciate your audience, appreciate you, and appreciate Corn Nation overall, and appreciate everybody. And my head tells me 9-3, but my heart tells me 10-2.
Go with your heart. Your 5 heart. We'll see you on Thursday, right?
That's right. Good night, Minnie.
Good night. Great to see you. Okay. Well, you guys, that was so fun. And our buddy Andy was supposed to be here. He said that he requires sustenance. So whatever that's for. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and fill you in on other things Husker related. I usually, I don't do more than an hour show, but tonight, for you guys, since you're here, we'll go ahead and do it. And there's supposed to be another person joining me that is in chat. If he wants to come on now, would be a good time. Hello? Anyone out there? So right before I started the show, I got some information that I don't know if anyone else has seen. If y'all aren't on X, I don't know if you could have seen this. It is, there's Andy. Andy.
God.
Hi. Okay, there's an echo.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to do about that, because this is actually the thing I've been doing for like the last year that works without echoes for the first time ever.
I think it's okay if I don't talk. Here. I don't even know what to do. Here, you know what? Let me leave. And Greg was going to help me. Greg, just jump on, please.
What did you break?
See? It's an echo.
I didn't hear an echo. Greg sounds fine.
Okay, am I the only one echoing?
Yes.
As far as you know.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Did you say fuck?
No, I didn't.
Thought you did.
Is it echoing? What?
I'm not hearing echoes.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello? Oh, I don't know what to do.
Hi, Greg. How are you doing?
Andy, how are you?
I'm fine. I had a good day.
I'm echoing.
I don't hear you echoing. Am I the only one not hearing the echoes?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm the only one.
This is so weird. Oh my gosh.
Usually, I'm the echo guy, and Miley is the echo girl, and I'm not hearing echoes. Although there is a thing on the right saying, you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. All right, anyway, I guess. Hey, it's Andy night. So what do you all want to talk about? Oh my God, there's me and Minnie in Vegas.
Just mention that, okay? Talk about Vegas and the Big Ten Media Days. And
I'm sorry, I can't
Andy,
hear you.
I am not
can't hear
kidding. You
for
have
all
to
the
turn down
echoes.
your volume. Maybe that's it.
Maybe it is. I'm literally, this is like one of the rare echo weird volume things that's not happening for me. I'm usually the echo guy. And Miley talks, and Miley has the twangy echo thing, and I'm not hearing any of that.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know.
I don't think it's doing it. Look at my chicken legs.
Wait.
Wait, Fred, here we go.
Let's vote. Who has better legs in that
Fred will
picture?
make it better.
This was us. We ran into each other in Las Vegas, you guys.
Yeah.
He didn't even know I was going to be there, and I didn't know he was going to be there, and he walks right by me as I'm talking to Steve Sipple.
Yeah, I did. And I did not, I saw Sip, and I saw this strange-looking lady with nice sandy blonde hair, and I was like, well, you know, I'll talk to Sip later. And then I literally heard, oh my God, is that Andy? Which was the first time in my 3 years of Big Ten football media days that anyone had ever said, hey, that's Andy.
Well,
Right or wrong. And then, yeah, and Sip just looked, I got to be honest, I turned around, and Sip looked so destroyed that you just blew him off to go talk to this Andy weirdo.
oh gosh, give me a break. He did not.
He did. He, for a few seconds, he did. It's like, hey, I'm Steve Sipple. Now, at this point, I'm absolutely fucking around because Sip is literally one of the nicest Husker reporters. Yeah, he is a chill dude. He's one of those guys that I feel is like will be me in 10 years when maybe somebody knows my name. He's still just happy that anyone knows who he is and loves to cover Husker football. He's a really nice dude.
I am going to beg you to leave the studio and maybe change your audio settings.
Okay.
Because I am getting a major echo. And I think...
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
My setup here now is kind of screwing around. So I will hit, I'm assuming the peach colored thing on the right is leave the studio. Because this is literally, I've never had I've been doing the podcast on my own for a year or two. Let me just pop out and try to pop back in.
Okay, I kicked him out. Greg, is there an echo?
Nope.
See, it's perfect. He's the problem, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, am I going crazy? Because this is driving me nuts.
It's something about the audio was hitting his speaker and going back into the microphone piece, which was causing the echo. So our voices were bouncing, but it wasn't Andy's because it was Andy talking into Andy's microphone. So
Oh, because he doesn't have a separate microphone.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. Hey, you were the one who broke this story to me. You want to tell us about this? This is like kind of cool.
Yes, this is the first 2 players that Nebraska has identified as single-digit wears for the 2025 season. So on the right, you have Riley Van Poppel wearing number 5, and on the left is Dane Key wearing number 6. So I would imagine we'll get 2 a day for the next few days. I guess 4 more days, 0 through 9. Yeah.
6 and 5.
Riley Van Poppel, Dane Key. No surprise, at least in my mind. At least as we go forward and we learn who more of the players are, I'm not surprised that these 2 are among the 10 that are identified by the teammates as those who are deserving of a single digit. Dane Key, of course, the offseason acquisition, transfer portal acquisition, however you want to say it, from Kentucky. And presumably is going to be a leader in that wide receiver room. And then Riley Van Poppel, who is going to have, I think, a really strong season as an anchor of the defensive line and going to kind of take that Nash Hutmacher role of occupying blockers. He may not show up as much on the stat sheet just like Nash didn't as much last year, but he's going to free up his teammates to be disruptors in the backfield, I think, my opinion.
Look at that. I know you guys love to make fun of me, but look at that body type. He looks like a good combination of a Ty Robinson and a Nash Hutmacher, doesn't he? Like you morph
I don't know.
the 2.
It's tough to say. He's kind of squatting down. Oh, you mean Riley, RVP?
That's who I meant. Yes, of course.
That was the joke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and I don't think he's got the height. I don't think he's as tall as Ty was, or Nash probably for that matter. But I look at the arms. You know,
those arms are huge.
He's got some 24-inch pythons, brother.
I think Andy's calling it a night. Bless his heart. Andy, I appreciate you. We're going to have to figure this out. Maybe I'll come on your Tuesday night show. He wants to know, is he done now? I think he is.
I don't know. I'm not seeing that conversation.
Okay. No, he was texting me. Let's try it again real quick. Okay.
There we go. Sort of.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you fixed it.
I didn't fix anything. I just texted you. It was just saying I was backstage and I couldn't, and someone else would have to let me on.
Yeah. Oh.
Is it still echo crazy or?
I don't think it's echo crazy, is it?
Nope.
All right, let's go.
Oh.
TSD says it sounds good.
Oh, TSD says we're good.
Greg, do you have any questions for the Big Ten Media Days? Because this is what I brought him on for, because I really haven't had a chance to even think about it.
Right.
Other than I enjoyed. Okay, hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. Did you come away feeling just a little bit of Husker love in your heart for the coaches you saw?
Me?
At Big Ten Media Days? Yes.
Nah.
Okay, never mind.
Not at all. I mean, we actually talked about this. Okay, obviously Matt Rhule, rock on. God, I have no idea why this thing is just going like the picture for me is going like up the backstage. I'm not going to screw with anything as long
Don't touch anything.
As the sound, I'm not touching a thing. But I remember you telling me, because I said this was the year. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing Nebraska Day. I'm just doing Nebraska because I really never have the urge and never have the response about, hey, someone talked about Bert, and Bert is still huge at Illinois. And yeah, and I meant not.
Did I say this to you?
No, not at all. But I was just like, I don't give a shit about the rest of the teams when it comes to Big Ten football media days. And the reason being, the Husker fans just care about the Huskers. No, at the end of the day, the Husker fans mostly care about the Huskers. And the only thing that really charge them up a little is PJ. Who's the Minnesota coach? Mr.
PJ Fleck.
Yeah. PJ's always a dick. And
Are you serious? You're not going to seriously come on here and call him that name, are you?
yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm toning it down by calling him a dick.
Oh my gosh, Andy!
Thank you, Greg.
So I don't know if you're aware, Andy, but in the last several weeks, it has been Minnie outing herself as a Flecky.
Yeah.
She has basically said she came away respecting PJ Fleck more, Kirk Ferentz more. Basically, she came away, and I said, "You cannot humanize the opposition," is all I've said, and I'm the bad guy for making these.
You know what, Greg?
Proclamations.
I remember reading a thing where it was I think either last Thursday or the Thursday before, you was like, should we respect the fact we should hate these people? Now, PJ's, I'm sorry. I just remember one game where Minnesota won. It was either last year or the year before. And because here's the deal.
23. The first game of the season.
Not necessarily like Nebraska. Oh, actually, it was. That was Nebraska. And Minnesota wore Minnesota as the last name on the back of the jersey. And I feel like the only reason they did that was because the athletic department didn't give him permission to put Fleck on the back of all the because with PJ, it's all about PJ.
Okay.
It's all about PJ. And
he is a self-promoting son of a gun.
Bingo. And I remember it's like one of the rumors, and who knows, how much the person I know knew about it or whatever. But apparently PJ lost his goddamn mind when Nebraska did not even interview him for the open position that Matt Rhule ended up getting. He wanted to come here and run the damn ball and all that. Allegedly. But Jesus, it's like the guy's just, like you said, a self-promoting. Nobody loves PJ more than PJ.
PJ loved,
and I loved it when he got his little remember his little tightening up his eye.
His eye surgery.
Yeah. No.
By the way, guys, no. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop Andy.
I gotta finish.
Andy, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because okay, I had Andy come and sit right next to me. Andy, we both can't talk.
That's true. You say that, and yet we are.
I had him come and sit right up next to me in the very front row.
Oh, did you?
And PJ Fleck is on the stage, and you're telling the story that you're going to tell everyone right now. You're telling it so loud, I swear, PJ Fleck heard this.
What?
This story. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
about
this was
the eyes
years before, and the thing is, PJ. Here's the thing: it wasn't just his eyebrows or this or that. His face had changed. And then he came out and said, I had a right eye injury that needed, it's like, no, dude, you had plastic surgery. And I swear to God, if there's a Big Ten coach, if there's a Division I coach that ever had the urge to go, I need a new face, it would be PJ. And it was. And his answer to all that, was such, bullshit. It was bullshit. He was like, oh no, I had this eye injury like a year or two ago. It's like, well, you know what? Your face didn't change. And it wasn't like, oh, and there was this thing on the one side. It was like, no, your eyebrows look different. Your face looked different. Sorry.
I think you're onto something, perhaps.
No,
it's okay.
this was 2 years ago. It's like, and I was not the guy leading that discussion, for fuck's sake. I don't
You
lead
were that day in front of
college
him.
football. Greg, would you agree with that? Andy Ketterson starts no discussions in college football that makes the college football world go,
That is so not true. I promise
it's
you.
so true. And PJ just, I don't know.
No. Every time, Andy, maybe you don't know what the whisper voice is. Maybe that's it.
The whisper voices?
Yeah, where you're supposed to just whisper like that, but your whisper's a little loud. It's a little like it's a couple levels high, and I guarantee PJ heard us.
I hope so. But he didn't hear us that day because no, and I know what you're talking about, and I really was. I mean, I was giggling about it. Here's the reason PJ didn't hear us. Do you remember PJ's day? What was this? We're talking like 3 weeks ago, and it feels like 5 months ago. PJ screamed his entire answer. I'm sorry. Oh my God! And here's the deal. He started off okay. We were just like, "Hey, I'm just kind of being sort of loud, PJ, and I'm talking about this or that," and then all of a sudden he went "Viva Las Vegas" at the top of his lungs, and the top of his lungs never. And I'm looking at you, Greg, just to see your reaction. The top of his lungs never slowed down, and then I go to like near the end of it, like checking Twitter, and it's like, why is PJ yelling? And why is PJ screaming? And Minnie, am I wrong?
No.
PJ screamed. And here's the thing. All you got to do is a Matt Rhule deal. Talk, do an opening statement, do 2 minutes of the 15 that they're allotted, and then go, who's got questions? And PJ, for the second year in a row, even though there was no even made up, and I'll even give PJ this. Last year, they were talking about like Fleck Bucks or some weird stuff, and I was like, this sounds like nothing. Minnesota. Okay. This year, he really ripped up. Like, he got done. 14 minutes had gone by, and whoever that dude was over to the left of us on the right side of the podium went, all right, we got time for a question for PJ. And I don't want to go into the one weird dude who just, I don't know. You know who I'm talking about? The guy over on the left who literally was like, and so-and-so has a question. And he would just mumble like a 40 to 50 second question. And they do their best to act like it was serious. And they gave that guy the PJ question. And I'm like, this is perfect.
It was set up.
Because PJ did his best to kill 14 of the 15 minutes so you wouldn't have to answer questions. I have no idea why, but then they gave it to the weird dude who was like, and I asked questions, and your running backs, and it's like, and PJ just like shifted, like answered the actual football question for about 10 seconds and literally flipped to, hey, and me at Minnesota, and we're the best ever, and blah, blah.
Well, what do you have to say about our Minnesota fan in the chat that says PJ owns the Huskers? This is Tony. He comes every week.
He's not wrong. Who's that? Tony?
He's not wrong.
Washland? Hey, they've won 6 out of the last 7. They beat us. They beat us in the COVID game when only had like 40 healthy players.
I know.
And we had a full roster of 85 or whatever. Yeah, he's not wrong. Tony Washland, you're not wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I agree, Husker chat. Iowa and Minnesota are the teams we need to beat to take the next step up. They should be like extinguished.
Well,
Greg, chime in anytime. You're wearing a nice hat, by the way. Thank you.
I saw you slip that on. Is that from the 90s? The hat?
Are we talking about PJ Fleck?
No, just the hat. Is the hat from the 90s?
That's good. PJ Fleck is a cancer. So
thank you. He's a prick.
Wow.
No,
he brought this mentality over from Western Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, he's all about and I guess kudos to him. He's all about himself. He's all about promoting his brand. And when he eventually leaves Minnesota, and yes, Tony, it's going to happen eventually, whether it is
Did you do that, Minnie?
the worst kind,
I couldn't help it.
he will, like Minnesota. Try to figure out how I want to say.
Oh my gosh.
He will leave Minnesota eventually the same way Scott Frost left Nebraska, with bare cupboards. And while you may think it's looking in, it's bad, but when you get in there, it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be toxic when he leaves that locker.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh my gosh.
after he beat and I think you were the one who said something about this, Greg. When and I remember it's like my son and I were hiking in Colorado, but got out, went to a bar, watched the game, another 13-10 loss, field goal. But then like 5 days later, I see where they go, and hey, here's PJ yelling at his team to catch me. And he goes, hey, like does the dive into the team. And you see there's a lot of them going like, what?
It's a lot of.
It's always about PJ.
It's very performative.
Yes.
And look, I guess kudos to him. He's only 2 years older than me. I mean, I know I look and act much older than he does. Probably feel much older than he does.
I'm the oldest guy on this show right now, so you go.
It's it's just tone it down, man. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
You want to wear a tie, that's fine. If you want to wear a tie on the sideline, that's one thing, but wear a full pair of pants.
I get that every old angry white guy who thinks a player in a $1 billion industry is actually on the field, that you're the reason people come to these games, and all these old dipshits are like, hey, it's all about the team, and you should just be happy for a scholarship, and all that bullshit. Yeah. Oh no, it's fine. It's like, believe me, it's not an amateur sport when everybody but you is getting a cut of this cash. And I can't stand the coaches who go like, and by the way, I want no names on the back of the jerseys. It's a team. I will, and PJ was on the side, hit like what for, maybe he still does, I don't know. But on the back of Minnesota's jerseys is Minnesota. And it's like, hey, wouldn't it be neat if your parents could actually see your name on the back of the jersey? Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I wrestle with that.
Joe Paterno was like that. There would never be, I'm trying to do, I can't do whiny Joe Paterno voice, but the thing is about Penn State, we're not about.
Okay, Andy.
Hold on. We're not about being like people, individuals saying, we're Penn State, so there's never going to be any names on the back of the jersey. It's like, yeah, because the only name you want associated with the program is you. You want to be the king of the program. Paterno was like that. And I will say at least PJ's failings haven't been covering up the shit Paterno covered up. But come on, man.
See, like
part your players be players.
I love hockey. I know, Andy, hockey holds a special place in your heart as well. Miracle, I go back to that classic Herb Brooks line that the name on the front of the jersey means a hell of a lot more than the name on the back of the jersey. It's just, for Fleck, it's not like a Fleck original idea, and then they have Ski Uma on the back. And I think, but I saw somebody in chat say that he trademarked Row the Boat at Central or Western Michigan or wherever. It's like he's building his brand so that when he gets out of coaching, he has something to fall back on, whether it's analysis or whatever it may be. He's and I guess maybe in the 21st century that's what you have to do. I don't know. I don't like the guy.
Greg, it
has nothing to do with the win-loss record against Nebraska or Nebraska's win-loss record against Minnesota. It's purely his attitude.
You made a great point about Miracle, because here's the thing. when Herb Brooks was like the name on the front of the jersey means a hell of a lot more than the name on the back. He wasn't trying to be the face of that team.
Right.
And they actually captured that miracle because the one reporter goes, hey, people are saying you're saying this because you want to be the face of the team and not let the players do that.
Right.
And then he gave no answer, just gave him that. And I've seen that Herb Brooks in person, like death stare, which is amazing. And he just stared back, and then the next day, here was his assistant coach up there. Hi, I'm here to take your questions. Which is just the best middle finger to you're trying to make it all about you.
Tony
and
with the comment.
Herb Brooks was like, I'm not trying to make it all about me. And guess what? PJ Fleck would never do that.
Herb Brooks from ... Minnesota. Yeah. Again, not everybody from Minnesota is a total asshat. PJ Fleck biologically is not from he's from Sugar Grove, Illinois is where he was born.
Is he from your home state?
He was he played at Maple Park, Caneland High School in Maple Park, Illinois. I'm on his Instagram, or not, I'm on his Wikipedia. It's not the same. But he was a Northern Illinois Husky. He played for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He actually played. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's people who are asking if he's the same height as me. He is small.
Herb Brooks?
No.
I just saw it. I mean,
PJ Fleck.
Herb Brooks
saw it up on the screen.
Yeah, Wikipedia doesn't have those stats.
What are you, Minnie? 5'5"?
Oh, with heels, yes.
Okay.
5'2", Andy.
I'm just thinking of the picture we took together in Vegas.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Yeah. No, I'm nowhere close to anything like. Would you call me 5'6", 7, 8?
No. God love you, but I said 5'5".
Okay. Yeah. In my dreams.
So 5'3".
TSD says Fleck is 5'10" on a good day, but 5'9" of that is shit. So.
And PJ probably wants everybody to think he's 6'3".
I think he does wear
heels. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know
this, to be honest. I don't. And I'm not hating on PJ Fleck because I loved his energy. He gives good energy vibes.
Oh my God. He gives look at me energy. There's a difference between solid energy and pay attention to me energy. He's all about look at me energy.
All right. I'm going to throw this comment up here because I want more intel or info on it. Tony says, again, Tony's the Gopher fan. He says, did you know row the boat is something PJ come up with after the death of his infant son? I did not know that.
That just breaks my heart right there.
And not going to lie, I feel a little shitty now.
I don't.
Just a little.
I don't know.
Just a.
I'd love to know the rest of the story. Let's put it this way. Especially since we're now about 7-8 years into row the boat, and row the boats. I'm sorry, I've never really heard PJ tell that story. Row the boat's always been about PJ.
It's actually, if you type it in, it's true.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Colt, again, this is from Wikipedia, died shortly after birth due to a heart condition. So,
what is row the boat supposed to mean?
That sucks. But what does that have to do with boats?
Right.
And what does the baby have to do with the boat? I don't know.
That's the thing.
Damn, James. Damn.
You know what? If the first time I saw, and there was whatever Big Ten series they were doing, where they talked about row the boat, and you hear PJ tell the story himself. Hey, this is about my kid, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I took Miley to a track meet in Ames, and we watched this hour-long, and this is like, I think, his first year in the Big Ten, about PJ. And they're going, row the boat, row the boat. And look, not to be a dick, although I am, and I'm fine with it, but why did I not hear PJ Fleck tell that story on that first PJ Fleck Big Ten story? I do not remember that at all. Yeah, I forgot, but I like to think that I'm not such a freaking jerk that if he told that story there, I would have just forgotten it. Because back then, I had no reason to hate him.
kind of think that maybe you might.
No,
I'm
but
just kidding.
that's fair, because I can be a damn.
I'm kidding, Andy. No,
that's fair. But that's the kind of thing where I don't have a few years of, my God, quit putting yourself up on a poster nonstop.
I know.
And I would like to think I would remember that story and never make fun of Row the Boat again. Because this is the first time I've heard that story.
You can't. Okay, here's the thing. I'm just going to say it, okay? There's a lot of sad things that happen in life, right?
Yes.
And it's so sad that he lost his infant son. That is just horrible. But what does row the boat for a football team have to do with that?
And
I just don't get it. I'm sorry.
Minnie, the fact you're asking that means you never heard that story either. At the time.
True that. But Greg, go ahead.
I said Gregory Stewart said wants the rant next week to be about Lincoln Riley. I feel like that's accommodating. And then
I like Lincoln Riley.
Aaron Keene says Andy shitting on PJ is the therapy part of this show.
I've always been constant about shitting on PJ. Because I don't like people that just make it all about them.
Well, I think he just likes to talk. I think that's seriously what it is.
Especially if you're a coach. If you're a coach, you should do everything you can to make it about your players. And people can say, but Matt Rhule gets up there and talks a good game and all this is like, but what does Matt Rhule do when he's up there? He talks about his players.
Yes.
Not stop. I posted an article today about the running back room. And, you know, and it was a few days after the press conference where he talked about him. But my God, it's like he literally just was like, yeah, Quentin Ives is still hurt. And he's trying to skate by that because it's obviously a hamstring. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but lower body, soft tissue, first day of practice, and he's still not back out there after 2 weeks. That screams hamstring. And he's still going, we've got the most amazing running back room. And I literally was talking about this in spring ball. It's like, dudes, I think, have an amazing running back room because the coaches didn't really take a shot at any running backs.
I know. It was scary. It was scary for fans to watch. We didn't know. All these guys that they say we have, we didn't know. We're like, okay, if you say so, we've never seen them.
But Mekhi Nelson, like last year, is one of the ones like, hey, true freshman, but holy crap, what he's doing. They've been talking about Quentin Ives for 2 years. That's why I feel so bad about him if it is a hamstring, because it was always like he's 6'3", 180, he's too skinny, and Rhule was always going, he's going to be great. And then he got his shot in the Pinstripe Bowl, scored his first touchdown, and then he's like, in the spring, they're like, hey, he's up to 6'3", 215. He's our goal line guy. He can run goal line. I'm like, I thought he was a string bean the last years. And he's like, yes, let's go. And then, holy crap, the poor guy,
holy crap,
you know, strains a hammy. And even at the end of the article, you know, I said, hey, by the way, this might be our worst thing. And I went, or maybe they're just being good coaches and going, look, you don't rush a hammy back. It's literally the one muscle, except maybe the groin, you don't rush it back. So I'm going, and maybe everything's going to be fine. But you listen to him talk about Isaiah Mosey, and you listen to him talk about Mekhi Nelson, who apparently one of the things holding him back was he was just not quite dialed in. Not to say academically, because all of a sudden it makes it sound like you're talking about,
I know what you're saying.
He's dumb and all that. And it's like, and he was never that. But he went, but we challenged him. He wrecked it academically, and and then all of a sudden he's double crushing it physically, because Rhule said, he's like, Mosey and Nelson are just murdering it, and he's trying to do it without saying, and maybe we don't need Quentin, and then he goes, hey, and by the way, you got Kenneth Williams from Lincoln, and you got Connor Booth from Wahoo, true freshman who ran for 3,000 yards and 50 touchdowns his senior year. And he's like, and then he broke one in the fan day scrimmage, and it's like, oh, maybe this guy can run a little. And then I think, oh God, who's the other one? Oh, and then I don't know how many of you remember from 3 years ago, Vince Genatone from North Platte, and they're like, this guy's
Barely.
they were like, this guy's an athletic freak. This guy's a freak. Why aren't we offering him? And no one in D1 offered him. And he went to Montana and he played a year and then came here, played on special teams last year. And here's the thing about Vince Genatone. He is about 6'1", 6'2", 230. And he ran a 10-500 and a 22-3 200. And now Rhule, and he was mostly defense in high school, right? Like average, like 9 yards of carry. They threw him in on offense. Rhule goes, oh, we're going to pull him over to running back now. And I'm thinking this might have something to do with Quentin Ives being hurt a little worse than ever. But you got a 230-pound guy who they said, clocked 22.5 miles an hour speed in the 100. And Rhule's like, you know what? I really like the fact I can maybe pull this guy out and run him. And now he's saying Genatone's the guy we can run for a yard. And I'm like, I'm having Andy Janovich memories now. Because I was like, this is like Andy Janovich, who would bust those things up the middle.
But you
got a
mentioned
230-pound kid from North Platte. If he finds a hole on 3rd and 1 with a 10-500, he's going to be outrunning freaking safeties on Big Ten teams. And it's like, this is our like 6th, 7th guy.
You mentioned Mackay Nelson, and TSD has a comment. He says, Rhule said Mackay has the fastest 5 first steps he's seen.
I was at that press conference.
Yeah, I know you were.
Yeah, and he did say that. And here's the thing. All right,
we got to cut this short because we got to get going. I never do this long of a show.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my thoughts in under a minute or two on Matt Rhule, and then I will shut the fuck up and let you guys finish or kick me off. Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing that fires me up about this coming season. Thank you, Greg. I have never seen Matt Rhule just giddy at every
I know.
That's the thing is, and he actually, and that'll be an article in a day or two about, hey, this is a guy that's in love with this team. Because he said it. He's like, I don't want to talk about the last 2 years. These guys are great, but this is the most fun I've had around the team. And I don't think it's so much about the fun. I think it's that he knows, and unfortunately, this is probably how Frost felt in the 3-9 year. And I still say he was right to feel that way because holy shit. But Matt Rhule is 100% in on, I know I've got a thing about, hey, Temple year 3, Baylor year 3. He's convinced this will be better in a much better league against much better competition. He knows he's got the talent. And this is just me, not him saying that. Well, sort of. But this is what gets me over the Kool-Aid so much more, or gets me into the Kool-Aid so much more, is this is as fired up as I've seen a coach about a team at Nebraska since every year Bo Pelini coach, because he was always fired up about his teams. But yeah, Matt is that's why I'm starting to buy in, and I love.
We're gonna do a Kool-Aid episode.
Yes,
You're gonna have to show up early for that one.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
That's my thing. I just believe in this team because I've never seen Matt Rhule believe just in a team here.
Right? This is what I said. We get it. We get it. Greg is hiding his eyes. You were so shady right now, Greg.
Hey, Minnie.
You're still muted, by the way.
Minnie, please tell Greg he still owes me $100 since Dylan Raiola started the first game last year.
Oh, he doesn't ever take those bets for real. Okay. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, everyone in chat. We're going to let you go tonight so you can actually get some sleep on a Monday night. Have a good week and go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Wait, what's this?